While you can add content to the playlist in On Air in real time, you can't save that playlist for future use. To do so, you must use the Scheduling module. The control bar at the left-hand side of the window contains all the options available within the Scheduling module. Clicking on a tab in the control bar will move it to the top and reveal any sub-options available. To prepare a schedule, we use the Playlist Files option. The Library window provides access to all the content currently in the library, while the Playlist window is where we will build our playlist. To the left are the playlist function buttons, which will be described as we make use of them. At the top are icons representing the library categories. These are the cart stacks, commercials, jingles, and music. The music library can be filtered and tracks can be auditioned. The final icon displays the content of the news category. To start the playlist, I'll use the Setup Playlist button to type in information required to identify this particular playlist. The name of the program, the presenter, the date, which must be selected from the pop-up calendar, and finally, the start and end time from the pick lists. By clicking OK, I save this information with my playlist. Now I can start to add content to my playlist. By double-clicking on an item in the library, it's added to the playlist. I can change library categories at will. I can also drag and drop content from the library to the playlist window. Double-clicking on an item in the library adds it to the end of the playlist. To save the playlist, use the Save icon. The scheduler can also be used to create a different type of playlist called a template. The system knows whether it's saving a playlist or a template and automatically saves to the correct location. We'll look at templates a little later. As we're now saving the playlist file, we should give it a meaningful name. Clicking Save will place the playlist file in a location where the On Air module can find it. When the Load Playlist button is pressed, a window showing all the saved playlists will open. Clicking the Append button will add the content of the selected playlist file to the end of the current On Air playlist. While clicking the Load button will replace the current On Air playlist with the content of the playlist file. Once a playlist has been saved, it is possible to open it again to make changes. This is done by pressing the Load Playlist icon, selecting the appropriate option from the dialog box which opens, selecting the playlist which you wish to edit, and then making the changes required. With the playlist loaded, we'll look at another two features which can be used in this module: manual events and placeholders. Although they may appear similar, they do have a significant difference. They're accessed by clicking on the hand icon, which opens their setup window. Events can be thought of as passive. They occupy time in the playlist, but don't cause Synergy to perform any function. Placeholders, on the other hand, are active and cause Synergy to select the musical item or jingle to be played at that point in the playlist. Jingle and music picks are placeholders, while all the other items in the list are events. Live mic indicates a presenter link or another item involving live microphones. Play disc indicates that an item should be played from an external source, a turntable, CD player, or possibly on HBS, Zara radio. A remark is information for the presenter, such as a reminder to trail the next program. Remarks don't occupy time in the playlist. Playlist control is an active command. The options switch On Air between its various modes. A jingle pick creates a placeholder which will select a track which matches the criteria selected from the jingle category of the library, while a music pick creates a placeholder which will select a track which matches the criteria set from the music category of the library. The commercial break option requires to be integrated with third-party software and should not be used. A news break event indicates and counts down the anticipated duration of a news bulletin. A recording indicates that a pre-recorded item should be played at this point. Each type of event has its own entry screen. The description field must always be completed. A notional default duration for the event is also shown. This can be changed should a different duration be more appropriate. These times are used to calculate the duration of the playlist. On the jingle pick screen, a genre or genres should be ticked. Synergy will then play a randomly selected jingle which matches this selection each time the placeholder is used. Music picks offer more options, and again Synergy will play a randomly selected track which matches the criteria specified. Multiple options can again be chosen. Clicking the OK button will add the event or placeholder to the playlist above the currently highlighted item. The original playlist has been updated and now contains a number of events, so it should be saved. In this case, it will be given a new name. The total time has been updated to display the running time of the playlist, including the events, while the end display shows the time at which the current content of the playlist will end. You should always schedule slightly more content than is required. Now let's look at the updated playlist in On Air. When the playlist is first loaded, it displays a header identifying the host, program title, transmission date, and start and end times. When an event is played, no audio is generated by Synergy. It's assumed that the presenter will have opened the correct fader and started the item playing. Synergy will count down the duration entered when the event was created. This playlist has been created using jingle and music picks, although the first item is a news report. As soon as a music or jingle pick is added to a playlist, it becomes a template. As you can see, there's no specific content, only placeholders. Templates are intended to be reused. For example, Archie Armstrong might want to create a template for his country show, so that Synergy does the hard work in choosing the content each week. The program director might choose to create a template following the box system, to be used when there are no requests waiting to be played during an open line. Most radio stations use this approach. HBS is unusual in allowing presenters to select their own music. Once a template file has been completed, it must be saved. Synergy will automatically recognise a template file and save it to the default location. In order to illustrate that Synergy does select different tracks, I'm going to append a second copy of the template before I use it to create a playlist. To populate the template, I click the Populate button. This allows me to replace jingles or music, or both, with specific items. The system checks that it can meet the requirements of the placeholders and replaces each with an item selected from the Synergy library. At this point, I have to give the new playlist a name and save it, so that it can then be loaded into On Air and played out at the scheduled time.
BBC News with Ian Purden. The British government has defended its decision to call up 3,500 military personnel to provide extra security at the Olympics, only 2 weeks before the tournament begins. The government was forced to act because a contractor failed to supply enough trained security staff. The British Home Secretary Theresa May told Parliament the Games would be safe. Olympic officials say Saudi Arabia will send 2 female athletes to the London Games, the first Saudi women to take part in the Olympics. They'll compete in judo and track and field events. World News.
Your friend by your bedside. Hospital Radio.
HBS.
There's one last feature to look at. You may recall that it's possible in On Air to save a set of jingles or other audio in a cart player as a preset. These can be edited and new presets created by clicking the Cart Preset tab and then the Create Edit option. Existing presets can be edited by clicking the Load button or dragging a preset into the player. The content can then be rearranged or new items added. The amended preset can then be saved, overwriting the original. A new preset can be created by clicking the document icon and dragging and dropping items from the library into the cart player slots. The X button will delete the item in a slot. The green arrow will play it.
Hospital Broadcasting Service.
HBS.
Click Save, give the preset a name, a label, then click OK. It will now be available in the on-air library. That's it. That's Synergy.
You're listening to the Hospital Broadcasting Service.
We are now preparing for takeoff. Your tray table, footrest and personal video screen should be folded away and your seat should be in the upright position. Baggage should now have been securely stowed in the overhead lockers or under the seat in front of you. Please fasten your seatbelt whenever the seatbelt symbol is illuminated. Adjust the belt by pulling the strap and lift the metal flap to unfasten your belt. If you wish to sleep during the flight...
Come fly with me, let's fly away. If you can use some exotic booze, there's a bar in far Bombay. Come fly with me, let's fly away. Come fly with me, let's float down to Peru. In Lama Land there's a one-man band and he'll toot his flute for you. Come fly with me, let's take off in the blue.